Can I kick it?
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Kandii. I am out here in front of Suitland High School, and I have a special guest with me today. He's a mentor, he's a minister, he's a life coach, he's a father, he's a husband. He wears so many hats. His name is Mr. John Bell Jr. Yes, let's give it up for him, y'all. Hey, what's going on? How are you?
I'm blessed.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get into your life, what you were doing back then, during these days, Suitland High School days, you know, everything that led up to the man that you are today. So we are here in front of your alma mater. He was a basketball star here, y'all, years ago. I don't want to date you and give your age or nothing like that, but a couple years ago, right? Basketball star. So tell me, how does it feel being back here?
I feel like I left something behind.
Really?
I feel like it's a lot of unfinished business that I left inside this high school. I feel as though I could have applied myself a lot more here while I was here as a student. And with my basketball career here, I feel as though that we left something on the court because we were supposed to win a game.
Wow.
We were supposed to win the 1996 champion. 1996. That's when I came out.
He said it, I didn't.
So I feel like I left a lot of unfinished business here. So this what motivates me now today to come back and give back to the youth, because I don't want them to leave anything behind. Okay. I don't want them to have this feeling at this age to say, I feel as though I could have did more, I should have did more. But right now, I just feel as though I really left a lot behind.
So what year did you graduate?
Yeah, I graduated in 96.
Okay, you graduated in 96.
Yeah,
okay.
1996.
Okay. Basketball star. You had a scholarship to go
South Carolina State, and it was a partial scholarship to South Carolina State, and it was a scholarship to Coppin State.
Wow. We'll get more into what happened with that, right? A little later. Y'all gotta stay tuned. We got a lot to discuss with this man. I mean, he's incredible. He's been through a lot. All right, stick with us.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so John, we are right here, your old stomping grounds, right?
Yes.
You have a lot of memories here, don't you?
Yes.
I bet. Right over there is where a lot of things went on. Tell me a little bit about what happened in your life. How did it turn after high school and after basketball? What decisions did you make, and what were the consequences for those decisions?
Well, basically, at the time when I found out that my son was mine,
Okay.
I know I had to make some quick decisions because I was a father before I was even a man. So what I had to do, I had to learn how to be a man and a father without a blueprint on the fly. So because I grew up in an environment where they sold a lot of drugs and a lot of illegal things was going on around me, every time I came out my front door, it was right there.
Wow.
It was right there. So because that became a part of my DNA because I grew up in it. So when I seen the drug dealer and I seen the guy that worked the 9 to 5, right? I said, okay, I'll try the 9 to 5 life. But the 9 to 5 life wasn't bringing me that immediate gratification that I need. It wasn't giving me that answer that I need right there for that moment.
And that fast money.
That fast money, because I had fast problems.
That's right.
So what happened was I got introduced to the drug game. A guy, he put something in my hand, and once he put something in my hand, I never turned back. And all my financial problems went away. But all my other problems that I didn't even know exist, he didn't tell me about this part of it. So then you came with the envy, the hate, the police, the conniving, the manipulation. All those things came with the drug game, and I really wasn't prepared for that because I didn't want them. All I wanted was the money. Give me the money and all the problems you can have. But of course you can't take one without the other.
How did that affect your relationships, like with your son, with your family, with his mother?
Well, me and my son, mom, we always had a good relationship.
Okay.
It's not like that now, but we always had a good relationship. And it really didn't affect anything between she and I because she was getting taken care of.
Okay.
And no matter who I was with or who I was dealing with, I made sure she was straight at all times. But it affected my lifestyle affected me and my son's relationship because of the fact I didn't know how to be a father. I was only mimicking what my father done to me. So I didn't spend as much time with my son that I was supposed to because I didn't know how to spend time with him. And also, I didn't want, because of my lifestyle, I didn't want anything to happen to him because of my lifestyle. So you know, if I got him and I'm out here doing what I'm doing, so many people knew who I was, and you don't never know when they're coming to get you. I didn't want my son to be a part of that, so I kind of kept him away from me, and kept him with me. Then I kept him away from me, but I kept him away from me more than I kept him with me.
I see. Now, who you are today, right? Your mission is to just clean up the neighborhood, clean up your community, really try to get these young black boys and girls, young men, young women on the straight and narrow, right?
Yeah.
Did you know anyone, any man like you, who you are today? Did you know anyone like that back then, or did pretty much all of the male, the men in your life, were they all kind of just, doing the same thing, drugs, just? Did you have any positive influence as far as a male role model then?
I had one guy, and it's crazy that as you're speaking to me now, it came back. His name was Mr. Down.
Okay.
He lived about 6 houses up from me. He was a retired sheriff, and he loved me like I was his son, but he couldn't see the things that I was doing because he was like in the house work. And every time he would come to my basketball games, and he was like, "Man, you got it, man, you got it." He was always telling me like, whatever I can do, whatever I want to put my mind to, I can do it. And he was a good guy to me. But all my peers were drug dealers. They were all drug dealers, so they didn't try to stop me from destroying my life. They didn't tell me about the other side of a bad decision. Everyone thought that I was going to be the meal ticket, so they pushed. So once I decided not to play basketball anymore, and they was like, "Well, you're not gonna spend my money. You might as well get your own." Wow. Once they introduced me to it, that was it.
Wow.
That was it. So I really didn't have. I had Mr. Dowder, but he wasn't that guy that I am today. Meaning, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be showing you the other side of it. I'm going to be holding your hand. I'm going to be filling you up with everything you need, speaking to the king and queen in you. I'm going to be that guy to, whoever I can be. But I didn't have that when I was coming up.
Okay, so tell me about the events that led up to your incarceration. You were young, was it 2002?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Well, the day that I got locked up, my buddy, he was my connect. He called me and asked me, did I have enough money to stop selling drugs for a whole year? And I was like, stop selling drugs? Why would you say something crazy like that?
You just couldn't fathom.
Yeah, I couldn't fathom stop selling drugs because we had just got another connect. Money was coming in. I'm talking about the life was great.
You were in the deep.
Financially, the life was great, but still mentally, I was suffering.
Yeah.
Because every day you wake up saying, today might be the day that it's over. So I was in my apartment, and when my connect called me, he asked me did I have enough money to stop for a whole year, and let's travel, let our name die down or something. And I was like, sure, I got enough money. So we booked some tickets to go out of town, for about 2 weeks. And I was in my apartment calling everybody, telling people whoever owed me money, come give me my money. I'm gonna be out for a minute, but I'm gonna give you something to help you out till I get back.
Okay.
So the whole time that I was in the apartment waiting on guys to bring me my money, the police was in the parking lot across the street waiting to run into the apartment. They just was waiting for the warrant. So when I walked out of the apartment, in my head I had a Oldsmobile Aurora at the time, and I had a Chevy Suburban. I had just bought the Aurora. It was 9 days old.
Wow.
But in my head, kept saying, take your truck. Take your truck. And because I just bought the Aurora, I want to drive my new car. I jumped in my Aurora, made the left onto Homer Avenue, made the right on the Brooks Drive, made the right on Silver Hill Road. When I got up to Walker Mill Road, they surround me. All the police surround me, helicopters, all this crazy foolishness. And when they came and put the gun through the sunroof and everything, made me get out the car. And at the end of the day, they said, the only reason why we knew it was you Because of your car.
Because of the car.
So if I would have took the truck, they probably would have got me later on, but not that night.
Mm-hmm.
But to tell you the truth, once they put the handcuffs on me, I was at peace.
Really?
It finally was over. Like I knew it was over at this point. I knew that it was time for me to go ahead and face, you know, the consequences for everything that I ran from.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that now when I ain't had to worry about nobody robbing me,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't had to worry about nobody killing me in the streets, I ain't had to worry about none of them, you know, kidnapping my family.
Right.
I ain't had to worry about any of that no more because I was officially out of the game.
And I'm sure in the back of your mind, like you said, you would wake up every day thinking like this could be the last day. This could be the last day. So it's not like it necessarily came as a shock to you, right?
No, it wasn't a shock. I tell you, I was at peace, and this is something that I wrote about in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, I had an apartment in Remington Place, right there in Fort Washington.
Okay.
Every day when I used to get to this particular light, right there by Oxon Hill Village,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very long light. Every time I would pull up at this light, I would have a vision of guys running down on my car and killing me.
Wow.
Every day, I lie to you not, every single day, for about 9 months, I had the same exact vision.
Wow.
And what I would do, I would go right to the liquor store and buy a fifth of Remy, a bottle of Moet, and a fifth of Alizé, and I would mix it. I would drink it, and I would grab my gun, and the vision would go away. And I did that. I repeated that every single day.
What type of effects do you think that had on your mental?
I think it got to a point where I think I was hallucinating.
Yeah.
I was hallucinating
Absolutely.
because to actually see, it was clear like I'm seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm actually, and it's like every day I would get to the light and I'm like, all right, here it comes. And sure enough, every day
Wow.
it would happen just the same. So it was like I felt like I was going crazy.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going crazy. So I was like I said, when they finally locked me up, I was so at peace. And everyone said, man, you know they finally, you don't seem like you upset. You know, like, man, I'm at peace. I'm at peace now because I don't care what no one say. If they're in their lifestyle right now, I don't care how much money you get, you'll never be at peace with this lifestyle because there's no peace in it.
There's no peace. Y'all hear that? There's no peace in that street life. Walk the straight narrow. Get your education. Go to school.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do. Live your dreams. Wake up every day. Living your dreams. To live your dreams. It's not where it's at. You hear him, right?
Definitely not
Spoken
where
from
it's
somebody who's been there, done that.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. How
Yeah.
long were you incarcerated?
13 years, 3 months, and 6 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it felt like, I want to say it felt like it was a long time when you call home and your son go from daddy to what's up, dad.
Wow.
You know, and then you start to see pictures from when you used to send little guys and girls to the ice cream truck. Now they're holding their own kids. That's how it started to manifest in my mindset that said, you've been gone for a long time. You've missed a couple of generations by being incarcerated. So to me, being inside, it really wasn't long to me because I stayed busy. The only time it felt like it was a long time when I stopped doing something, if I stopped moving.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about some of your coping mechanisms. What did you do to get through all of that time? How did you deal with your emotions? I'm sure you felt at some point that you failed everybody, that you failed yourself, that you failed your son. Definitely, right? I know you went through emotions, you know, of what are people saying about me? You were so known in this community, right? So what were people saying about you then? I know you went through all of those thoughts, all of those emotions. So what were some things that you did to just kind of cope with that? All those years, it's a long time. 13 years, that's a long time.
I say for the first 5 years, I was so bitter. I was so bitter and I had so many unanswered questions. So because I was so bitter, I fought a lot. I fought a lot. I'm talking about anything would set me off. You talk about the Redskins, we fight. You talk about the Wizards, we fight.
Cowboys.
You say Tupac better than Scarface, we fight.
Wow.
All that on the basketball court, that was my coping mechanism. I played basketball, I worked out, and I fought. And I drank the jailhouse wine a lot. That was my coping mechanism. But my best coping mechanism was I ran track. I used to get on the track and I would go out there at probably 10:45 in the morning and I would probably run at least 20 miles every other day. That was the only time I could really be myself. when I was running around that track by myself. That was the only time I could really be myself with no mask, not the tough guy, not the bully, not, you know, Gucci the gangster or the go hard guy. I can really be my natural self. I could be John Bell when I was on that track. So that right there was my best coping mechanism. That's just was running the track. Running, because I can always take my mind out of the physical element that I was in. Physically I was there, but mentally I was running in Hawaii somewhere.
Right.
And that's the way I coped with it.
And that's how you cope with it. Wow. Is that what brought you to your spiritual walk as well? Or did you meet someone that kind of helped you with that? How did you meet God? How did you meet the Lord?
Well, I'm gonna tell you where it started. They passed a law, a crack law. It was in 2007.
Okay.
And they were sending guys. I mean, they were walking up to guys and said, "What's your name?" "Oh, you got to go home. You got to be on the combat by 12 o'clock." So everybody was going home around me. I'm talking about guys with 5 and 10 years. They was getting an immediate release. So I'm looking around, like, okay, well, it's gonna happen for me. It's gonna happen for me. And I started to pray, and I said, "Lord, I know you're gonna release me to my family early, but I need you to make sure that I'm spiritually, mentally, and physically prepared for this journey." And I knew Christ, but I didn't know the story. I didn't know how to believe or why I should believe. I just knew how to pray. So I think after I prayed that prayer, I think it was probably 3 weeks later.
Okay.
They had called me. I had got locked up and put under investigation into solitary confinement for contraband. So when they put me into solitary confinement is when you stay in a cell for 23 hours a day and you come out for 1 hour.
23 and 1.
23
right?
and 1.
Okay.
23
I'm
and
familiar
1.
with that.
Yeah, 23
I've heard that
and 1.
term.
So in that moment, when they locked me up, I knew that this had nothing to do with the prison system. I knew that it had nothing to do with the contraband that they said I was selling. I knew this had something to do with the prayer that I prayed. Because as soon as I walked in there, it was a Spanish guy in the cell. And in prison, Spanish and blacks don't get along at all. They won't even sell together. They can't even be sellers. So when I walked into the cell, I did a premature judgment on him. I'm like, this guy, man, Spanish dude in my cell. And when I walked in there, he greeted me, "Hey, brother, how you doing?"
Wow.
And I'm like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" He said, "Look, I got peanut butter and jelly, graham crackers. You know, whatever you need, I got it for you, man."
Wow. That threw you off.
It threw me off. It threw me off. But see, you see, God does things that's abnormal to let you know that it's Him.
Yep.
And from that point on, He gave me a Bible. He said, "We're not going to talk about anything but this."
That's what the Spanish guy said?
He said, "I don't have any other conversation for you but this." And I said, "Man, this is what I've been needing." We sat down and we went through the scriptures for about 4 days. And once he showed me some scriptures that helped me within my walk, the police came and they moved them out of my cell. And I think I stayed in the cell by myself for about 3 months. 3 months by myself, and it was just me and God, one-on-one. And I'm telling you, I was kicking and screaming. But at the time, one thing you can't outrun fatigue. Until I got tired of fighting, and I just said, "Lord, whatever you want to do with my life, do it.
Do it.
I'm out of the driver's seat. You got it." And at that time, that's when it started.
Okay, everybody, we'll be right back. We got more, much more, with Mr. John Bell Jr. So much more. This man has been through so much. He has so much experience, so much to give us. So stay tuned.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to Kicking It with Kandii. I'm your girl, Kandii Marie, and guess what? I am in the office. Okay, moving up. I am in the office of Mr. John Bell Jr., author John Bell Jr. of Memoirs from My Cell. So you saw us at Suitland where it all started. We talked about his journey, but we are here now, today, in his office. This man has been doing amazing things in the community, amazing things, you know, helping people, just being a mentor, just being an inspiration to so many people. So, welcome back with me again, Mr. Bell.
Thank you for having me.
So like I mentioned, we, just went through your life. We went through, your days at Suitland as a basketball star, and then how things turned in a different direction. And you had a baby at a young age. You were a teenage parent, right? And then your life on the street, and then ultimately ending up in prison, incarcerated for almost 15 years. You get out, right? 2015, you get out of jail, and then what leads up to this office, this book? Tell me about it.
But I started writing when I was incarcerated.
Okay.
Like I told you, when I was in solitary confinement, I prayed and I asked God to give me a gift. I said, Lord, you have to give me a gift to allow me to serve you, but also to feed my family. And the very next morning, I wrote 11 poems. I never wrote a poem a day in my life. So God was showing me that I've already put something inside of you, and I'm going to get my full return on my investment.
Amen.
So once I started writing poetry, and the more and more I got into it, and the more and more I listened, I got intrigued, and now I'm trying to write about everything. I'm writing about everything, and I realized that every poem that I was writing was a chapter of my life.
Wow.
So they had shipped me from Petersburg, Virginia to Memphis, Tennessee. They shipped me there in 2008, Christmas. It was December 24th. I got to Christmas Eve. I got to Memphis compound, and I started writing more. And I think I got up to the 100th poem, and I was like, all right, that's it. I ain't gonna write no more. And I was like, well, Lord, you got me writing all these poems. What am I supposed to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord spoke to me clearly. He said, they're chapters of your life. And right then and there, I knew I was supposed to write a book. And the reason why I wanted to write a book, because I felt as though that people needed to hear my story. I feel as though that people really don't know what goes on the other side of a bad decision. People don't know what really goes on inside the prison system.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel as though if I documented my life story because of who I was in the streets, I feel as though that people will be more likely to hear my story or likely to believe the things that I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked at the younger guys coming into the prison system, when I went to prison, I was 23, and that was kind of like the average age. But as time went on, I started seeing that the numbers were going down. It was on 21 and 19 and 18. And they was having 30 and 40 year sentences, since they couldn't even recover from. So I said, what is going on out there in society? Where are the role models? Why are all the younger guys that's supposed to be home with their mom still playing PlayStation or running around chasing females or doing, playing basketball or things like that? Why are they in the prison system with me? And I came to the conclusion that there was no role models out there. They had no one out there to tell them that they can do better. They were worth more than society said they were. And that was my motivation. I said, I gotta go back home, and I gotta give back to these kids. I gotta motivate, I gotta educate, empower, enlighten them. And from that day forward, even before I gave my life to Christ in 2008, I said I wanted to come to give back. And God knew that I was going to do exactly what He told me to do, because He knew how He made me. So the May 5th, 2015, I was released. And from that point on, I learned about social media, Facebook. It was kind of, I had to learn to figure out the smartphones, because when I left the streets, Nextel was the best phone.
Right.
So when I found out about the platform that Facebook provided, I started immediately doing motivational messages.
Okay.
And people were shocked at my 180. He left the street a drug dealer, manipulator, womanizer, and he came home a man of God. He left the street talking about fighting and money and women and cars and clothes. He came home talking about God. So you have some people who were intrigued by my story. Then you have some people who were sitting saying he faking. Then you have some people who were waiting to see me fail.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, nothing really stopped me from doing what I was passionate about doing. So from that point on, I started mobile mentoring. I started speaking at churches. I started volunteering at high schools, doing anything that I can do to get this message out to these than this next generation, as we say, these millennials.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people didn't think that that these kids would listen. But it was like it just the person that had to be that they was asking to be listening to. That's what it was. The person that they was actually having to listen to, that was the key. So once I noticed that they were listening, I started speaking more. I started putting myself in, God started putting me in different positions in different places and providing different platforms for me. So how I got here.
Boss life.
When my book was released, I called my buddy Aaron. He's the owner of the building, and he's already been running his electrical company, AG Power and Electric.
Okay.
He's already been running it for some years. He's been the master, the youngest master electrician in the PG County. That was a great accomplishment for him. So when I came to give him a book, he said, "Man, bring the book up to the building." So I came up here and he bought the book. We sat there and we talked and we talked and we talked. And he said, "Well, let me show you the building." And as I'm leaving out, he was like, "Well, let me show you the building." So he showed me the offices and he told me the offices were for rent and things of that nature. But I was like, "Well, look, let me get a few dollars together and push to the side so I can get a space." And he was like, "Man, I told you to get with me a long time ago." He said, "If you're really serious about this, man, which I know you are," he went on his key ring and gave me the key to the office and was like, "If you willing to be a part of my program, let's do it." And I was sitting there saying, like, "What? I came here to sell you a book, but God did exceedingly and abundantly above all I asked or think."
Right.
And I walked out of here with not only with a space to mentor and motivate, life coach. I walked out here with a space to host my motivational events. I walked out of here with a whole program that will feed the community nothing but light.
Wow.
I walked out of here with a comrade, a soldier. And now that I have these things, I'm able to fulfill my calling on a greater scale.
Wow.
Oh man, it's amazing. It's
That's
amazing.
Great. So what's next for you, John? What's next? What's the next chapter? You've been through all of these chapters now. What's in the future?
Well, of course, Memoirs from My Cell is the book that spearheaded the next book and the book after that. I wrote 9 books while I was incarcerated, and this is one of 9. The next book will be out later this year, and it's called I'm Finally Free, Life After the Lesson. So that's, the project that I'm working on, along with the Powerhouse Mentoring Program, where, of course, I told you that I'm going to be working on the internal parts of the child, of the young adult, of the youth. And Aaron is going to be working on their physical. He's going to be teaching them how to become successful entrepreneurs before they even walk across the stage. We've collaborated with different empowerment groups and mentoring programs to be able to give the community back what they need.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good volunteers that decided to step up and help us in this, this walk, and help us in this fight to take back our community. So God has been placing great people around us. So my next venture is to make sure that this program gets to where it needs to be, and also to start my line of motivational greeting cards called JB's Blessings. Because I feel as though that when you go into a store to get a card, it says just enough, but it doesn't say what you exactly need it to say.
Correct.
So because I have the gift of poetry, I've been blessed with the gift to be able to sit down with you, have a conversation with you, and then be able to put our conversation in poetic form.
Wow.
So that's one of my next step.
Incredible. So I know that you have a lot of your poems up here in your head, right? Would you mind reciting 1 or 2 for us?
Sure. I have one that is very dear to me, and it's amazing because my mother thought that I didn't hear her when she was speaking to me when I was in the streets. And it seemed like I heard her when it was time.
When it was time to hear her.
So when I got to that solitary confinement, everything that my mother said was reiterated. I heard it all over again. And it was more like, I told you. So this first piece is called Get It Together, Son. It's a conversation between my mother and I. Get it together, son. Hello, Ma, it's me, your son you long to hold. The one who probably grew up too fast and never did the things that he's told. The one who cried every time he's caught as he spoke from behind the glass. As you prayed to God saying, help me, I need him, he's my last. I talk to him, but it's useless. I just do the things that I can. But until you start to listen to me, you'll never become a man. I am a man, you're not. Don't sit here and tell that lie. If you're a man, man up to your faults and wipe those tears from your eyes. I'm sorry, Ma, I promise you, I won't do these things anymore. That's another lie, because I've heard that a million times before. For real, Ma, this is it, because I'm really tired of running. I hope so, because I'm tired, son, and look at who you're becoming. Straighten up, son, I'm serious. Just listen to the words of your mother. Stop selling those drugs, it's killing you, and doing the same to your brothers. Just look at y'all, keep fighting over money that's made in the streets. My kids physically fighting who slept under the same sheets. Well, I'm tired now and I'm getting old and I always say that I'm changing. But you're my baby and I love you. But don't make me leave you hanging. Just help me, Ma, please. This is the last, once and for all. Son, I'm just so scared for you. I don't want to get that call. What call? From jail? For me to say, Ma, come get me? Know that call in the middle of the night that says you're no longer with me.
Wow. Wow. Incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you. That's one of my most, I want to say, dear pieces to my heart, because a lot of people can feel that, because a lot of men such as myself, when we're out there thinking that we were men, but we really was little boys trapped in a man body. Mm-hmm. We denied and neglected the people that loved us the most, and most of all, our mothers. Every time something went wrong, our mother was already there. Yeah. So I just wanted my mother to know that I heard her. And that poem was like so dear to my heart, and my mother loves it. I mean, she loves to hear it every day if she could. I bet. But I was letting her know that I heard her, and don't think that, I didn't want her to beat herself up about where I was. Mm-hmm. Because she did the best thing. She did the best for me with the knowledge that she had. Absolutely. I just chose to make my own decisions. Wow.
Incredible. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you could say anything to the youth today. There's so many young men and women that are lost right now, that don't have a support system, a strong support system. What would you say? You could look into the camera and say anything to these young kids that are trying to find their way but are lost and need someone like you.
First thing I would tell them that I love them. Then I would tell them that you are important. You don't have to allow the generational curse to start with you. It can stop with you. You don't have to allow society to dictate your destiny. You can make a better decision just by just changing your mind. My motto is, if you can change your mind, you can change your life. Absolutely. That's my motto. And I feel as though that with these kids, they take a lot of losses. And today, you have parents that are having kids and they don't even know how to be parents, like I was. And I would tell them that no matter what happens in your life, when life knocks you down, make sure you land on your back. Because as long as you can look up, you can get up. And that's something that's really strong with me, because a lot of times these kids are born into a situation where as though they don't even have an opportunity to be great. They don't even, their wings are clipped before they even get a chance to fly. And I just want to be able to tell them that you can be, you are, you will, you should. Don't let no negative, I'm talking about no negative voice that's around you, that's in your life, stop you from becoming your God-given destined person that you're supposed to be. That is my encouragement. And I tell all the youth out there today that if you need me, I'm not hard to find. I'm going to be here. Until God calls me home, I'm going to be here, and I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Amen. Amen. Okay, so that was great, John. So how about you tell everyone out there where they can find you, how they can find you, how they can be in contact with you, to, you know, find any information, to seek help, all that, where they can even purchase your book.
Okay, well, you can find me on Facebook at John Bell Jr. My IG is Coach John Bell. You can find my book on Amazon, but also it's on my own website, CoachJohnBell.com. That's CoachJohnBell.com. Not hard to find. Memoirs for myself. Everything will be on CoachJohnBell.com under that email address. If you inbox me any type of questions you have, any concerns, anything you want to say or add to the movement, if you want to be a part of the movement, all you have to do is contact me through social media, and I'm not hard to find. We welcome you.
Absolutely. You hear that? So come down, volunteer, do your part, make a difference in the community, just like this man has done. John Bell on Facebook, Coach John Bell, CoachJohnBell.com. Reach out, get the book. It could help you. It can help somebody you know, your friend, your mama, your daddy, somebody. He's making a difference.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Wow. What a day full of inspiration. Y'all see that? Were y'all with me the whole time? That man has been through everything, and look how God has brought him through. Okay, so if you're not a believer, you better start believing. I mean, I feel motivated. I feel inspired. I feel like I can go just conquer the world now. Nothing's going to stop me. All right, so I hope you all took a lot from this episode. I hope that this encouraged you to go out here and make a difference in your community too. I don't know where you're from, you know, but I'm sure somebody could use your help. I'm sure that you have something to offer somebody, a gift. I know you do. So stay tuned. Stick with me. I'll see you guys at the next episode.